Hello, Janet. Hi, Willie. This is your Uncle Bill talking to you from Connecticut. And I hope that you are all enjoying your Christmas Eve and you have lots of friends with you in the Windy City. We're very sorry that we can't be together with all of you this Christmas Eve. And we're actually shooting this tape a couple of weeks beforehand so that it would be ready for you on Christmas Eve. But our gift this year to you is a video gift. And what I did was to go back into some of my old films and home movies that we took way back in the 60s, if you can remember that, and wanted to share with you and your family some of the good times that we had back in Pennsylvania, especially on Christmas Eve. And I've selected two of my most favorite films, which I look at many times myself. One is a scene from 1969 when we were all gathered at Grandpa and Grandma Caruso's house in Homer City. The second part of the film, which I'm sure you'll enjoy as equally as much, was Grandma and Grandpa Caruso's wedding anniversary that we all celebrated at the Italian Club in 1970. But before I go on, I'd like to call Ashley in now to say hello. We're very sorry that not many of the other children are here. Ashley, why don't you come in and say hello? How are you today?
Good, thanks. Hi, Dad. Hi, Aunt Janet. Hi, Willie. Merry Christmas. I wish that we could go to our grandparents' houses like you guys did when you were little.
Yeah, it looks like fun, didn't it?
Yeah.
With everybody being there?
Yep. I'm sure you'll enjoy this film. My parents enjoyed it very much. It brings back a lot of good memories.
It sure does, and thank you, Ashley. Well, it's time for us to stop talking and to give you all a chance to take a look at some of our favorite films. Let me close by saying that all of us send our love to you, and we hope that you have a very happy Christmas and a very prosperous 1988.
Hi, Larry. How was your vacation?
Quiet! This is a scene from 1969 at my grandmother and grandfather's house in Homer City, Pennsylvania. All the family would gather annually to have a terrific dinner and great fellowship, and we got to visit with just about all of our family, and it was a great tradition. As you can see, there was plenty of food. Many of them are still traditional items that everyone in the family still continues to prepare on Christmas Eve. One of the traditions was that it was a meatless meal. There was no meat served at all in any of the things that we had that evening. As you can see, there was a lot of preparation and plenty of food for everyone. There's Grandpa having some of his delicious wine that he would make almost every year. Actually, Grandpa was famous for the delicious wine that he would make. He would never sell anybody. He always gave it away to the people that he liked. There's my mother, Grandma Caruso. Oh, I can still smell the perfume with Mary up the shaft. Whew. There's Uncle Minnie, Papa Safaro. Here's Grandpa smoking a corncob pipe that Judy and I brought back for him from a vacation that we took in 1969 in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. It's Cousin Donnie. I think that the reason that I remember this Christmas, there's Judy as a young bride. The reason I remember this holiday probably more so than any other is that we probably had more people at the table that year. Look at Aunt P. She looks like Annette Funicello. Nice hairdo. I think more of the relatives were here. Oh, and here's Franyatza, the older, and Franyatza, the younger, coming in late as usual. Cousin Paul. And who's that handsome fellow? And as usual, the tradition after the meal was to present Grandma and Grandpa with their favorite gifts. And you can see what Grandpa Caruso's favorite gift was. It was 4 roses, his favorite brand. Here's Grandma and Grandpa with Lynn looking over Grandpa's shoulder, unwrapping some of the gifts. Check out those pants on Judy. Cousin Paul entertaining us with a little Luzerne Mine humor. Usually when the meal was done, we waited for everything to be cleaned off before we could start the traditional card game. And the game that we always... Oh, and there's Aunt Janet, who showed up on Christmas Eve, and Cousin Barbara, who came, both of them came in together on the bus from Niagara Falls. What a nice surprise. As you can see, they needed to catch up on their rest, as did Grandma Caruso. Here we are waiting for the card game to begin, and as I said, the traditional game was 7 1/2, which was Grandpa Caruso's favorite game, and we played 7 1/2 until Grandpa went to bed, which is usually around 10 o'clock. Then we got into some serious poker. Nice hairdo, Jan. Then what happened, usually on Christmas Day, that all the family would come to Blairsville and visit with our family, and it was always a delight because we had another terrific meal and had a chance to look at some wonderful presents. Isn't that a wonderful tree? Remember that Grandma, our mother, spent so much time and was so proud of the tree, and she always did an outstanding job. And here's David playing with the computer football game that Mom got me that year. Here's Mom enjoying her traditional cigarette after working many hours in the kitchen. There's Judy as a bride. Here's a blurred close-up of Grandma and Grandpa Caruso's 50th wedding anniversary picture. Hold on, because it gets clearer. The trouble is not in your set. There's our dog, Grandy. It's probably, as you remember, one of the most wonderful and brightest dogs that we ever had. Again, the trouble is not in your set. There's Barb laying down again. Oh, I still smell the perfume. Now, Christmas Day, there was some serious poker as you look at the contents of this pot with not only dollar bills and rings and watches, as well as keys to automobiles. It's probably one of the traditions that I miss the greatest. It's a serious poker game on Christmas Day. Here's Uncle John pointing with the banana. The other tradition was that the youngest in the family would run for beer. I can remember doing it, and I'm sure you do too, Jan, but in this case it was David and Lynn who were the youngest. Spent a lot of time at that table playing cards. And as usual, the pot got smaller as the day wore on. Now here's Dad cleaning up the kitchen. Look how young Dad looks there, and thin. Shake, Brandy. Wiggle your ears. That terrific dog. Shake. Isn't that great? Sure was a super dog. There's Mom's famous Federal Lab centerpiece made out of data processing cards. Dad's still cleaning up the kitchen. This next film is shot in an Italian club in Blairsville, Pennsylvania in August of 1970. And this was the occasion of Grandpa and Grandma Caruso's 60th wedding anniversary. This was also an event in which most family members who could attend made the trip to Blairsville to honor Grandma and Grandpa. You'll see many familiar faces. There's Mom and Aunt Sal, Cousin David. Look at Aunt Lena in the back. And Cousin Diana. There's Grandma. Cousin Paul. There's Grandpa going through the line. This film may look a little dark, that's because it is, and actually I was shooting this without a light at the time, and obviously the technology is much better today. Do you remember the number of times that we as a family got together to honor one of us, whatever reason it was? I think that's probably some of the or one of the things that I miss most about Western Pennsylvania, spending a lot of time with the family just visiting. There's Judy with her mother and dad. Next to them is Cousin David and Mom and Dad. Mom sure looks good there, doesn't she? Here's kind of a family portrait standing behind Grandpa and Grandma is Uncle Adam, Aunt Sal, Uncle Ninny, Aunt P, Uncle John, and Mom. There was another child born of Rose and Paul Caruso, Julia, who passed away at a very early age. Here's Grandma and Grandpa having the first dance. There's Mom dancing with Grandpa. Isn't that wonderful? Look at Dad in the background with the original Polaroid land camera. Oh, I can still smell the perfume. Whew. It's Aunt Lucy cutting the rug with Grandpa. I also hope that the whir and sound of the projector is not an inconvenience while you're viewing this tape. It's Uncle John. Here's Judy. And Dad. There's Cousin Lynn, who in 1970 was better known as Sissy. And what we did after the dinner and the dance, we all went up to Homer City to celebrate as usual. There you are, Jan, drinking beer. I can't figure out why you weren't at the anniversary. Now, someone else had the camera in their hand. They're shooting this. Can you guess which relative each of these posteriors belongs to? Grandma and Grandpa in the traditional garden pose. Uncle Ninny explaining his new movie camera to Aunt Rose. Sam Cohen. And as usual, there was always a poker game, plenty of food and drink. There's Uncle Nick, God bless him. Cousin Paul. Hey, Jan. These pictures are taken by Cousin David, who at a very early age developed a flair for photography. It's Janie and her children. Dad. Peace to you. And peace to all on earth. Uncle John. Somebody holding a pair of kings. There's Grandma with the corsage that everyone presented her. Cousin Louis. That's Dad, of course. You know, as I look back upon this and share it with you on this Christmas Eve, I don't think that there's Uncle Harry, God bless him, and a very skinny brother. It's hard for me to think about a more positive time. David took this when he went to the bathroom, but the peaceful times, the times that we enjoyed together, and all the wonderful moments that we had just being a family. And I do hope that this video will remain with you as a memory of all the wonderful times that we had growing up in Pennsylvania with our family. And even though we may be miles apart and our families eventually will grow even farther from us, I would hope that from time to time that all of our children from both of our families would take the time to just look at this tape to remember what a truly wonderful family that they are part of, and of all the wonderful people that came before them in this world. So let me close, Jan and Will and whoever else may be there, and to Brad and Allery, when you view this tape, I want you to know that you have a wonderful family and that it's so important that you remember the wonderful people that helped to make you what you are today. God bless each and every one of you.